The unsurpassed, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rarely met with, even 100,000 million kalpas. Now we can see and hear it, accept and maintain it. May we unfold the meaning of the Tathagata's truth. Good morning, everyone. Today we celebrate Buddha's birthday. In Japan, not only in Japan, but in East Asian Buddhist countries like China, Korea, Japan, we celebrate Buddha's birthday on April 8th. But here we do the celebration the Sunday close to April 8th. And usually we have a Sunday after 8th, but this year we decide to do the Buddha's birthday celebration today. So we don't have so many flowers in this town yet. We have some, but Buddha's birthday celebration in Japan is called Hana Matsuri. Hana Matsuri means flower festival. You know, this time of the year in Japan has a lot of flowers, including the cherry blossom, the famous cherry blossom. Well, yesterday we had a one-day retreat for beginners. And I talked 2 waka poems by Dogen from this book. Yesterday afternoon I talked on the poem about the scenery of early spring, even though entire world is still covered with snow. Dogen had the song of a warbler, the tiny bird, and the bird is saying spring is already here, even though it's completely covered with snow. And a second poem about spring, that is mid-spring. That is the third poem from this book. This book is Zen of Four Seasons. This is a collection of Dogen Zenji's waka poems about the scenery of the seasons. The waka Dogen made to describe the mid-spring is as follows. Let me read in Japanese first. Azusayumi, haru no yamakaze fukinu ran, mine ni mo tani mo hana nioi keri. My English translation is, it seems that the mountain spring wind has begun to blow. On the peaks and in the valley, myriad flowers are shining. So on the mountains and also the valleys and also field, everything is covered with flowers. That is the scenery of mid-spring. Around that time, we celebrate Buddha's birthday in Japan. Every village has a rice paddy or rice field. During the summer, the rice field was filled with water. But in the fall, before harvesting rice, they took the water out because they have to work in the field to harvest the rice. So during winter, there's no water in the rice paddies. And they plant some kind of short grass and fit. I don't know English name of those plants, but they have a beautiful flowers in the spring. Some are purple, some are yellow, and also the spring flowers such as violet, dandelions. All the field and mountains are covered with flowers. It's really beautiful. And that is the time we celebrate Buddha's birthday. So, this is a shrine for the baby Buddha and covered with flowers. Traditionally, the children go to the field and collect flowers, and they decorate this baby Buddha shrine. And yesterday, some children, I think, did this decoration. So Buddha's birthday is also a very exciting, joyful occasion for children. They are the kind of main people who celebrate Buddha's birthday. Anyway, each year on this occasion, I introduce one Dharma discourse of Dogen. He gave on the celebration, on the occasion of celebration of Buddha's birthday, and he described how Dogen described how Buddha was born. He quote from the Buddhist scriptures, and that description explain what we are going to do after this talk. We chant Hanya Shingyo or the Heart Sutra and do the ceremony. Now, in the center of this shrine is a statue of baby Buddha. But after this talk, we put the bowl of herb tea and put the statue of baby Buddha in that tea. And what we do is bathe the baby. That meaning of that ceremony came from how Buddha was born, or how Buddha's birth was described in the scriptures. Of course, we don't really know how and when Buddha was born. This kind of story was made after Shakyamuni became very great teacher, possibly few hundred years after Buddha's death. So we actually don't know when he was born and how he was born. But it's all Buddhist scholars agreed he was born at a park called Lumbini Park. And even today we have a shrine enshrined the Buddha's mother. Her name was Mahamaya. Anyway, let me read what Dogen says about how Buddha was born. This Dharma discourse was taken place in 1252. Of course, this is the year before Dogen died. He died 1253 in the autumn. So a little more than 1 year before his death. If we want to read this Dharma discourse, it was discourse number 495, page 442 of Dogen's extensive record. He says, the 8 forms of accomplishing the way are the manners of transformation of Buddhas. This refers to 8 important incidents in Buddha's life. When I explain all of them, then I don't have enough time to finish. So I just mentioned. Therefore, Maya, Shakyamuni Buddha's mother, arrived at Lumbini Park, and the Bodhisattva referred to Shakyamuni Buddha. He was called Bodhisattva until he became the Buddha. The Bodhisattva was born and entered the world. He entered this world. Indra is one of the Hindu god. Indra held up the Bodhisattva on his swaddling cloth, and human and heavenly beings for the first time made prostrations upon seeing the face of the single most venerable one. At that very time, jeweled lotuses blossomed to support the Bodhisattva's feet. Somehow the newborn baby stood up and walked 7 steps in each directions, and underneath his feet the lotus flower bloomed and support the baby's feet. That is what he is saying. At that time, jeweled lotuses blossomed to support the Bodhisattva's feet. Heavenly beings rain down flowers upon the Bodhisattva. So there are many heavenly beings, and they rain the flowers. So everywhere is covered with flowers. That is the scenery of this time of the season. Then he took 7 steps. The newborn baby stood up and took 7 steps in each of the four directions and gazed to the four directions without blinking. The words naturally emerged from his mouth. So even newborn baby spoke. And what he said was, within the world, I am the most excellent. Within the world, I am the most venerable. From today, all my share of births have been exhausted. This is my final body, and I will become a Buddha. So when he was born, he declared that I will become a Buddha. I'm not sure this is true or not. Maybe not. But in Soto Zen tradition, we interpret this saying as, all babies, when they were born, they cry, and that sound of baby's cry is saying that I'm the most excellent, I'm most venerable. So not only Shakyamuni, but all babies saying, I am the most excellent. Then from the earth, so he was born on the ground. To me, this is kind of interesting. When he was born on the ground. And when he became Buddha, when he attained awakening and became Buddha, he was sitting on the ground. And when he died, he was lying down on the ground. So his important event, birth, enlightenment, and dying, is all on the ground. I think that means his life on this ground or this entire world is no separation. Then from the earth, two ponds emerged. Somehow two ponds come up. And one pond has a cold water, and another pond has warm water for mother and the baby. As offering to the sacred mother, and from the sky, two showers fell and bathed the bodhisattvas. According to the scriptures, two dragons appeared. Dragon is a god that controls the water. Dragon lives in the palace in the ocean. Anyway, dragon came up in the sky and made a shower, one cold and one warm, to bathe the baby. So what we are going to do during the ceremony to ladle up tea and pour on the baby Buddha is what those dragons did. So we kind of imitate what story to express our veneration and gratitude and appreciation to the baby Buddha. The park was filled with precious necklaces, presumably offered by heavenly beings in accord with a genuinely matured function of his past conditions. That means this was not his first life, but Shakyamuni had been practicing as a bodhisattva for 500 lifetimes. I think it said 500 lifetimes because there is a collection of stories about Buddha did in his previous lives, and the collection of the stories is called Jataka, and Jataka include about 500 stories. Probably that was why people started to think, Shakyamuni practiced as a bodhisattva for more than 500 lifetimes. Anyway, so as a result of fruits of his practice as a bodhisattva in the previous lifetimes, he became Buddha within this lifetime. Past conditions and 20,000 heavenly maidens, 20,000 heavenly maidens surrounded Maya, his Buddha's mother, and assisted her. 500 heavenly beings attended the Bodhisattva, the baby Buddha, with praises. The grasses and trees in the 3,000 great thousand worlds suddenly produced beautiful flowers. So flowers were, rained by the heavenly beings, and also all the flowers, all the trees and grasses bloom the flowers at the same time. Those who were suffering were all relieved of their misery, and those in comfort all increased their joy. So when Buddha was born, people who were suffering relieved from the suffering, and who are in a comfortable condition increase their joys. Who could fully express the auspicious appearance of this great good fortune? So until here, Dogen described how Buddha was born. Then he started to talk what is the meaning to celebrate Shakyamuni Buddha's birth for us. When I did this story of Buddha's birth, the actual people are only his mother and the baby. All others are heavenly beings, or dragons. That means probably his birth was not, how can I say, it said the reason why his mother went to this park was she kind of a custom at that time when the mothers give birth to the baby, they go back to their home. So probably Buddha's mother was returning to her own family home from where her family lived, but somehow accidentally he started to labor, and so probably accidentally she gave birth Buddha in that park. It seems there's not so many people surround her and her baby. Only the heavenly beings and dragons. Those are not real people. If there are many important actual people who are around mother and baby, it must be described. But those who helped this birth was heavenly being gods and dragons. So probably that was the reality. Was not not so many people are around Maya and Shakyamuni when Buddha was actually born. That is my guess. Anyway, in this story, all beings, including gods and animals, celebrated and venerate Buddha's birth. And Dogen continues. Who could fully express the auspicious appearance of this great good fortune? Who could fully express means, Dogen is talking to his monks. That means he requests his disciples, you should express this fortunate, the meaning of this fortunate birth of Buddha, because he was born. We are here. There are more than 2,500 years after his birth. If he was not born at that day, Buddhism was not here. And if Buddhism did not exist in the history of human beings, I think that's that this world, this human world, is very different. So because of his birth, in a sense, he changed the entire world. Or he showed the example how human beings could live without being controlled by the desires for power and fame and profit. So for us, his birth was a very important happening. So we should express our appreciation. How can we express our gratitude to Buddha's birth? That is what Dogen is asking to his disciples. The benefit of this joyful happiness, is still fresh today. So, the joy and happiness and appreciation of Buddha's birth, in many years ago, it's still fresh today. Why is this so? Dogen is asking, why is this still fresh? Why Buddha's birth was still fresh? Means Buddha is born today. Great assembly, do you want to clearly understand the meaning of this? So he's still asking, what's the meaning of Buddha's birth for us today? And why is it still fresh? The meaning of Buddha's birth still fresh today. Then finally, Dogen says, after a pause, Dogen said, he sat cutting through the dried turds, T-U-R-D-S, dried turds. Do you know this word?
Yeah.
This is a famous word.
Very.
Famous word in Zen. This came from one koan story. There was a Zen master whose name was Umon. When Umon was asked, what is Buddha? And Umon said this word, dried turd. So this refers to Buddha. So this is a dried turd. Anyway, he sat he means Buddha, sat cutting through the dried tads of patch-robed monks. Patch-robed monk means us. This is called patch-robe. Patch-robe monk means they're monks. So this refers to Dogen's monks, Dogen's disciples. So actually this he is not the Buddha, but each of the monks in Dogen's assembly. Cutting through is a translation of the done. Dogen quite often use this expression, da zan. Za is sitting, and dan is to cut off. Cut off the, dried tad. Dried tad means this. Another expression Dogen often used, human body is a skin bag, or he said, stinky skin bag. That is our body as a living beings. But here, what Dogen said is he or we, within our practice, we cut off this dried tad. This refers to our karmic body and mind. Our karmic body and body and mind is cut off. That means our way of life, living within samsara, chasing after things to fulfill our desire. That is a life as a suffering within samsara. And within our practice, we cut off that dried tad, that stinky skin bag, and we transform our life into the life of Buddha, or life of Buddha's children as a bodhisattva. So here is a transformation, and here Dogen expressed this transformation as cutting off dried tad. But still, our body and mind is the same thing, still dried tad. But somehow the meaning of our life is transformed. We still use this skin bag, but when we take bodhisattva vows, as Shakyamuni did in his previous lifetimes, many lifetimes ago, when he was a young man whose name was Sumedha. Somehow he met with a Buddha whose name was Dipankara. Somehow he aroused bodhicitta, or body awakening mind, and he had aspiration. He will become like him, like the Buddha. And that was the starting point of his practice as bodhisattvas. And he was born 500 lifetimes, and sometimes he was born as animals, like a deer or an elephant or a pigeon, or sometimes he was born as the god, and also human beings. Even when he was born as human beings, sometimes he was a king, sometimes he was a beggar. So he experienced all different kind of life within these 500 lifetimes, and he always practiced helping people who are living beings who are in need. That was how he practiced as a bodhisattva. And according to the Jataka stories, the point of his practice as a bodhisattva was called 10 parameter. And these 10 parameters is pretty much the same as 6 parameters in Mahayana Buddhism. So this story is before Mahayana, about how Buddha became Buddha. And I think Mahayana Buddhism take the idea of Bodhisattva from the story of this of Shakyamuni's life, including his past lifetimes, and made 6 parameters instead of 10, but they are pretty much the same. So when we take Bodhisattva vows, and after this talk, you chant 4 Bodhisattva vows. And when we receive the precept in our tradition, we receive the Bodhisattva precept. So when we receive Bodhisattva precept, and when we undertake 4 Bodhisattva vows, then and we try to, or we make effort to live following those vows, then the meaning of our life is transformed. You know, the first of the four Bodhisattva vows is beings are numberless. We vow to save them. And second is delusions are inexhaustible. We vow to put end to them. And the third is Dharma gate, that means Buddha's teachings. Dharma gate is boundless. We vow to master them or enter them. And the fourth is Buddha's way. In this case, this way means Buddha's awakening. Buddha's awakening is unsurpassable. We vow to realize it. So those become the direction we walk as a Bodhisattva practice. When we live following that direction, then the meaning of our life is transformed from the way we do things to fulfill our personal selfish desires. This transformation, I think, is what Dogen is saying, this cutting off the dried thread. But the meaning of life is transformed. But this, our body and mind is the same. So we have to use the same things. We have to use same skin bugs to practice as a bodhisattva. So he said, cutting through the dried tares of touch-robed monks and or through, W-O-R-E, or through straw sandals, while diligently engaging the way. Straw sandals is the sandals monks used to put when they travel. This travel means traveling to find teachers. So straw sandal refer to our practice, our actual traveling to practice, to find a teacher and also to actually practice. And the sandals, because Dogen's Sangha, monks travel long distance, their straw sandals were through. That means it's almost broken. That means the monks practice for many years, pretty hard. Basically, what Dogen is saying is their practice, monks' practice. Through monks' practice, each moment by moment, each moment, Buddha is born. Buddha was not born only one time about 2,500 years ago in India. But through our practice, we give birth to Buddha, newborn Buddha, each moment. And each of our step of our practice as the jeweled lotus flower supported the baby Buddha when he walked. When we walk and practice as a bodhisattva, our step was also supported by the lotus flower. And the lotus flower referred to the Dharma. Next he said, how could this be the same? How could this be the same as the shell of ignorance? Shell of ignorance is our way of life as ordinary living beings, just to be ego-centered and only think of personal benefit. Try to gain everything we want and compete with others, and our life become, suffering. That kind of life, suffering, is called by ignorance. So there is a difference, transformation between life within samsara, competing with others and ourselves, and the way of bodhisattvas. We vow to help others instead of fulfill our personal desire. So the meaning of our life is transformed. From this moment, finally he said, from this moment, he became the king of the great thousand world. He means, of course, Shakyamuni became the king of the great thousand world, but not only Shakyamuni, but our practice is the king of Dharma. Of course, Shakyamuni was a great teacher who was born in India for many centuries ago. And yet, his life was already gone, already over. If people in the history of Buddhism, if people didn't practice, study his teaching and practice, his awakening is not reality anymore. It's written. It's just written in the text. So, in a sense, our practice, our actual practice, our actual life, following Buddha's teaching and following Buddha's examples, allow Buddha to continue to live. Otherwise, Buddhism is a kind of a history and it's gone. But because we are aspired to live following Buddha's example, Buddha is still alive within our life, within our practice. So in that sense, our practice of each day or even each moment give birth to the Buddha, and Buddha's life continues. So even though when we do this kind of ceremony, we of course express our gratitude to Shakyamuni Buddha as a person in the history, as our teacher. But we also appreciate our practice. And our practice is possible because of the support of all beings. We cannot practice by ourselves as a personal effort. Our personal power, our self-power is really limited. Without support with other people and other beings, it's not really possible to continue to practice. So by venerating and expressing our gratitude to the Buddha Shakyamuni, we also express our gratitude to all beings, all people and all beings which support our practice. And also we appreciate our life in which we can practice following Buddha's examples. I think that is the meaning of this ceremony of celebrating Buddha's birthday. Well, it's 5 to 11. It's kind of unusual. I finish talking before 11. Often I talk until 11:30 or so. But because we will have the ceremonies, it's nice. I think it's a good time to stop talking and make preparation for the ceremony. And after the ceremony, we'll have a potluck lunch. If you can stay, please stay and share some time with us. Any question or comments? Maybe nothing. Good. Okay, thank you very much for listening.
Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to realize it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to realize it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to realize it.
we're going to need a little time just to set up and take the lecture stuff away, and then we'll have a ceremony.
Oh yeah, I've been around a little bit. What's that? No, I go to Blues Moose a lot. Yeah, I've been around here. I haven't been here in a little while. You kids come today, is that right?
Yeah, he's over. And I'm about the other kids.
Darren, I'll move.
Let's see. We're being like charcoal.
Are those the convincements or not? No, probably not.
I could just stay away.
It's all about
But we,
right.
maybe over the
Pretty good.
A lot. Yes. 3 a.m. 5 a.m. More than one? He still tells you that he's the most honored one. He'd be happy to explain that to you. It's funny when he was saying that, that's all babies when they're born in Colorado, that's what they're saying. I just had, I remember being there when he was born. So he took care of that picture. He just sitting group every Saturday.
Oh wow.
He always jokes about it's like some people that know Leslie, his name is Kenji. They told them when they do that. You should go to so thanks. That's awesome. It's cold out here.
Another
Right. I mean, we just don't understand the language. Right. He's like, somebody get me. And then he was just coming around. Something.
Smaller towns where they're
Consumers. Right. And I can't really universally.
how was their food?
Yep.
Yeah, there was a really good
Oh, just you want to do the consensus or the find out?
I do.
Are you going off?
Yeah, I went to
Laid across.
So that could be bad.
Laid across the burn.
Really?
Yeah.
Jumped out and had to get your hand over here. Back. Okay.
So we're
Do you want me to take that?
Leave it on. All right. Take your hood off. Your hat and the-
Okay, you want to bow? Okay, you can follow me.
Make sure you do your hot hand out there. We'll do that when we walk in the window, please.
No, I need that. Thank you. So.
Just like you would hear.
Let's get you a place to sit. It's a little bit cuter than me. Oh, that's true. You're still pretty cute.
Yeah, it's fine. Yes.
Found this out in the family. I found this outside.
Heart of Great Perfect Wisdom Sutra. And thus we no suffering Shari Puja form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form itself is emptiness. Emptiness
The Dharma body that fills the pure Dharma world neither appears nor disappears. From the source of great compassion, the Buddha manifest in this world of coming and going. We humbly invite Buddha's true compassion to illuminate our awakening in practice. At this temple, on this day each year, we commemorate the day of our great teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha, his birthday. We have respectfully offered incense, light, water, tea, sweets, and food. Our Sangha has gathered and chanted Heart of Great Perfect Wisdom Sutra. We reverently dedicate this merit to our great teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha, in gratitude for his compassionate kindness. May Buddha's serene illumination always shine perfectly bright on our practice. Allow us to realize the wondrous virtue of the path of awakening. and may all sentient beings completely realize the Buddha way.
Directions 3 times. All beings, Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, wisdom beyond wisdom,
I think I'll do this seated. Just a few announcements. We have potluck, of course.
We are going to offer incense.
Oh, yes,
Each
first
person
that.
offer incense and raise the baby Buddha.
Right, sorry. So, what needs to happen is we need to queue up, starting on the side of that side of the Zendo.